Good afternoon, CIOs and friends. This is Anita Kukreja, Head Marketing and Channels at IceWarp, your host for the day. A very warm welcome to all of you. Today, with work from home scenario, life has become so stressful with so many deadlines to meet. Communicating and collaborating with colleagues, co-workers, and team members. We have to be always on our toes to be able to seamlessly balance between our personal as well as professional lives. It's so nice to be virtually having you all attend this session, though it would have been good to personally see and interact with each one of you. As you already know, ISOP is the only alternative to MS Exchange, O365, and G Suite. So today we are here to flex our muscles and illuminate the flame of yoga because it lights up inner happiness that never fades away. This refreshing and vitalizing yoga session powered by ISOP promises to be your guiding light for sure. It gives me immense pleasure to announce today's celebrity guest, Ira Trivedi. Ira is a best-selling author and yoga acharya. She is the founder of Yoga Love, which is India's fastest growing virtual studio and community with students practicing from 13 countries. In 2017, she was honored as one of BBC's 100 most influential women in the world. Ira is also the founder of Namami Yoga, a charity that teaches yoga and life skills to underprivileged children. I would like to request you to post in your questions in the chat box. Ira shall take them one by one after the session is ended. So welcome, Ira. I request you to take
Namaste, everyone.
Namaste. I request you to take it ahead from here with our audience. I'll be around for you.
Sure. Yes, thank you so much, Anita ji. That was a wonderful introduction. Thank you for everyone to joining us today. It's a real honor and a pleasure for me to be able to be here. And this is one of the silver linings of the pandemic, that yoga has come online and it's really been available for each one of us to practice. Earlier we would say that we don't have access to yoga. There's no yoga center close by. The yoga center is too far away. I'm looking for a yoga teacher. But now, at the click of a button, you have wonderful yoga teachers from around the world and from around the country available to you. So I'm thanking technology today to be able to do this session in such a beautiful and convenient way. You can be in the comfort and safety of your home, and still we can practice all together. So before we begin, I want to just set the tone for this session. So I would like to begin with a short meditation, a short focusing of the mind, and a short breathing practice so we can begin with an experience. And that may make you more curious to go a little bit deeper for the rest of the session, right? So let's take a comfortable seated posture. If you're sitting today on a chair, that's absolutely fine. If you're sitting on a yoga mat, that's also fine. Just make sure that you have a chair close to you because we will be moving on to a few practices that you can do in a chair. So once again, let's take a comfortable seated posture. Let's keep the back straight. Let's keep the spine straight, most importantly, and just keep the hands in what we call a chin mudra on the knees and close your eyes. And just closing your eyes, begin to bring the words, maybe running emails to WhatsApp, to children, to husbands, to wives, to any frustrations that you may be feeling. An ad that you recently saw, maybe your mind is running to. So just let's bring the attention from the outside to the inside. And let's begin to breathe in and breathe out. Breathing in and breathing out. Bringing the mind inwards. Bringing the breath inwards. Scanning the body. Let's move the toes, bringing all the focus on the toes, to the ankles, to the calves, to the knees, to the thighs, bringing all the focus on the hips, the pelvis, the stomach, the abdomen, all the organs of the abdomen, the chest, the fingers, the palms, the wrists, the forearms, the elbows, the upper arms, the shoulders, the throat, the neck, chin, the lips, the nose, the eyes, the forehead. Let's begin to bring all the energies inward. And the mind may still be reaching out. And if that's the case, then begin disconnecting. As if there's plugs attached to anything that comes to mind, and you pull the plug. Pulling the plug and bringing the balance, bringing the thinking inwards. Inhale. And exhale, taking a deep breath in, taking a deep breath out. Taking a deep breath in, taking a deep breath out. Focusing on the breath and the mind. And now just paying attention to the sound of my voice and breathing according to my counting as if you're pouring water into a glass and you're filling that glass bit by bit into 4 portions. Let's begin. Inhale on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath, bringing the focus in between eyebrows. And slowly, with control, exhale. Now let's bring the hands to heart center. Let's chant the sacred sound poem 3 times. Om. Om. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Rub your palms together. Bring the palms in your eyes. Just let them stay here for a moment and just let the body and the mind relax. And now slowly bring the hands down. Once again, now a warm welcome to the class. And we're going to begin by just a few minutes on how yoga has transformed my life, my brief experiences with yoga, and how I really hope that some of you take your first step towards this yoga journey. When I began my yoga journey, actually, I would say previous to beginning my yoga journey, I never, ever, ever neither believed in yoga nor believed in the power of yoga. In fact, I thought that yoga was very boring. This is what I thought. And I really do think of yoga as a blessing in my life. I have an MBA from Columbia Business School, and I studied at some of the best colleges. I'd sold a company by the age of 19. This was my story, and I had made enough money to be able to support myself at a top business school in New York City. I got a great scholarship from there, which of course helped. And I had made enough money that I could actually, in my very early 20s, I could have just led a life that I wanted and just done whatever, partied away, bought everything I wanted. I was done. But that feeling of being done wasn't that satisfying. And I realized that ultimately work is worship, right? What we do, we need to love. And what I was doing at that point in time, which was working with a private jet company, which today is the world's largest private jet company, catering to the richest of the rich, who wanted to fly around in big jets around the world, right? This was my company and the people that I was dealing with. And I began to realize the superficiality of it all. And I said that I'm not really so happy here. This doesn't really satisfy me. And therefore, I ended up in a very, that's another story altogether of, one thing led to the other thing, led to the other thing. And then before I knew it, I was doing a lot of yoga, and I was uh, training to be a teacher of yoga. And I never even intended to teach. I never imagined like a moment like this would come, right? But this is where my journey led me because I allowed things to come into my life and I took some of those chances. So what I encourage all of you is to let the power of yoga come into your life. And when that happens, then a lot of things start untrap your energies. Begin to energies, and when you're less trapped. Because remember, ultimately, the energy outside of us is the energy within us. And that energy which is trapped inside the body leads to fear. It leads to, us not being able to lead our best life, right? It leads to anger, it leads to frustration. So when we do yoga asana practice, those energy blockages begin to get unpacked, right? So it's not just for the body, it's also for the mind. And those mental fears that we had, those frustrations that we had, they slowly begin to change, right? And we're able to bring in blessings into our life. The blessings are there. Universe is here to support us. But often it's like think about a sponge, a very hard, brittle sponge, a very old sponge, when it becomes hard and brittle. Water may not be able to go in so easily into it. With a new sponge, which is so fresh and fluffy, it quickly absorbs the water, right? It quickly absorbs and it does its job well. So we become like those dried up things from the inside. We become really tight. And yoga allows those blessings to come into our life. It allows our potential to unfold and blossom. And that's what happened in my life. I never imagined I would be here. But yoga allowed my writing capabilities to blossom. It allowed my physical capabilities to blossom. And of course, there's all the benefits to your health, right? In this day and age of a global pandemic, we have realized how important our immunity is. And our immunity is our own COVID shield. The vaccine COVID shield may or may not work, but our own COVID shield that we develop, that's what we ultimately have to rely on, right? Our own immunity and our own respiratory health. And there's nothing as beneficial as yoga to improve both of these respiratory health or or immunity. Both of those two things are related, and yoga helps both of them. And any exercise is good. I get the question that, can I do some other exercise? Do I have to do yoga? I say yes, any exercise is good, but if you have a specific problem, you either go to a specialist or you go to a GP, what we call general practitioner. Any exercise like a GP. Yoga is like that highly qualified surgeon, very specific surgeon who's going to come and is going to help you with a very specific problem. Because yoga works in such particular ways. And that's how yogasana can help us. All right. So I hope this motivates you to take the early steps into yoga. And it doesn't have to be for hours. You can begin your yoga practice by practicing yoga for 10 minutes, the kinds of things that I'm going to be teaching you in today's session. So please pay attention, and over the next half an hour, just half an hour of your time, right? We're going to be dividing it into simple asanas and breathing techniques, and then moving to things that we can do on the chair. Just 30 minutes of your time is what I need. And then after that, we're going to move on to questions and answers. So if you have any Q&As, even with what I'm saying now, type them in the chat box, and we're going to come to them at the end of the session. Right? So whatever keeps on coming up, even as I'm showing you the asanas, please put them, and I promise you at the last 10 minutes, we will try to cover as much as possible. So let's begin with a simple seated practices. I'm going to be explaining to you why they're good for yoga, and then we're going to be moving to just one simple breathing practice, just one. And this is the breathing practice that I would like all of you to do. We've actually done one. We began doing something called as conscious breathing, in which we try and breathe into our fullest capacity, slowing down our breath and elongating our breath. So we've already done one. And then now, after this warm-ups, we're going to do one more after the asanas. All right. So just keep these things in mind. I'm keeping today's session very, very simple so that everyone can participate and everyone can learn something, no matter what level you're at. All right. You can grab a cushion to sit on. Putting a cushion underneath your tailbone if you're sitting on the floor can be really useful. Otherwise, just take a comfortable seated posture. Place your hand on your knees and slowly begin to breathe in and breathe out, and just begin to coordinate the body and the breath. And we're going to move our circles. This can be a really, really beautiful practice. Something really nice. You're just massaging the spine, massaging your organs. Let's move that direction. Let's move the shoulders. Twisting to the right and twisting to the left. So once again, we're just working on limbering up our spine, giving it massage to the organs. A really beautiful practice to begin with. Let's slow up. Let's inhale, open up the chest, and exhale down. Inhale, open up the chest, and exhale down. Inhale, open up the chest, and exhale down. A few of these movements. So that you're expanding your chest. You're allowing your lungs to expand, right? Remembering that the lungs are here. This is where the largest part of our lungs is. So when we open up the chest, we're pushing the lungs and doing a beautiful massage to the lungs, letting all the tissues of the lungs get a little unstuck. Because remember, the lungs are made up of layers. It's like layer after layer, and the surface area of the lungs is so large that it can fit a tennis court. That's how large the surface area is. So when we do this gentle practice, we're actually allowing the lungs to open up. You can continue doing this for even up to 5 minutes. Such a beautiful practice. And now, just coming back to center, we bring the arms to a side, and we're going to twist over and above and look over the right shoulder. And stay here and twist. And remembering to twist from the waist. so that you get the beautiful spinal massage. And we're also working on our paranasal sinuses. And these paranasal sinuses is where the nitric oxide effect happens. And nitric oxide has recently been found by so many scientists and medical papers around the world to help immensely with COVID recovery because it helps in oxygenation of the cells. Let's move to the other side. So really twisting the body from the waist. I hope that you guys didn't have a very heavy breakfast, or, because remembering that always when we come to yoga, coming with a little bit of an empty stomach is better. Coming back to center, let's bring the arms over and above the head. Let's stretch up. Stretching up all the way. Let's look forward. Just stretch up, push the shoulders up. You can drop the head back. Getting a traction for the cervical spine, and let's just drop towards the right. We're massaging all the organs of the left side of the body. Back to center and then to the left. One more time, just move all the way down as much as possible. And back to center, stretch up and slowly come down. You may feel that skin in your arms, right? The skin is our largest organ. So it's very important to do. And now we're going to be moving to a very simple but a very beneficial asana, right? Especially for just many things actually. One of my favorite poses, Balasana. It helps us with circulation. It helps us move from the sympathetic nervous system to the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the nervous part of the nervous system which heals. Okay, so very, very good with the recovery. So I really recommend to all of our students who suffered from COVID to do this practice called Balasana. And I'll be showing you, Balasana, Shashank Asana. Both are wonderful. This is so simple. Raise the arms up and exhale, come down, bring the forehead on the ground and bring the arms alongside the body and put the palms up and just stay here and breathe. Let the shoulders rest on the ground. And inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And slowly come up. Now, separate the legs. This is available to you. If it's tough for you, then you can place a cushion underneath. Bring the arms up and slowly come down. Letting the chest down, bring the chin to the ground and extend the arms forward. And stay here and breathe. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Relax the body, relax the mind. This is called the Shashank Asana, or the hair pose. And now slowly come up. And another beautiful posture, the Bhujangasana, should be practiced every single day, especially for those with back pain. All right, so first, preliminary exercise. So again, multiple functioning, lung strengthening, back pain, common problems for today. So this is, you really get your bang for your buck. It's like 2 for 1, right? So bring the legs together and just lift the right leg up first. Down, left leg up. Down, leg up. Left leg up. Right leg. Left leg. Right. Left. And now bring Both the arms, hands in line with the shoulders. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, slowly coming up all the way. And just push the pelvis into the ground. Just try to open up the chest as much as possible. Push the shoulders down. Inhale and exhale. And just stay here, taking a few deep breaths. Keep pushing the pelvis into the ground. Inhale and exhale. Now slowly coming up all the way. Let's come into a gentle seated posture. And we begin with our first breathing practice before we move to the chair. Okay, so these are don't take long. Just remember that you can definitely experience these, right, in a very beautiful way. So you can take your cushion and I'll tell you how to sit. Very important. You're going to place this underneath your tailbone. Just this much. So never sit right on top of the cushion. Always just place it 1 inch under. Just keeps the spine erect. Okay, now we're going to begin by the simplest practice, which is called the Primary Pranayama or the hummingbee breath. We're just going to inhale from the nose and we're going to breathe out in a hum. Okay, this is option one. If you want to go a step further, you can take your fingers and press them along the trachea, this soft portion of the ear, the small, what some people call the small ear, and press it down. Now I'm wearing ear pods, so a little tough for me to do that, but you can do this practice, all right? We're going to do this 5 times altogether. So what we're trying to do here is that we're trying to, these vibrations that we create with the Brahmari Pranayam, right? These vibrations really create a beautiful energy, right? And they also, these vibrations help with certain functions of the throat, certain functions of the brain. All of these are very helpful with the Brahmari Pranayam, right? These vibrations are extremely helpful. And also we're helping extend the breath, so we're really, the breath is still coming out through the nose, but we're slowing down the breath through the Brahmari Pranayam. And that extension and slowing down of the breath has very good results. And of course, this is meant to increase the nitric oxide effect that I explained to you earlier. So let's take a comfortable seated posture and let's breathe in through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Now inhale deeply. Inhale from the nose. Inhale. Now just take a few breaths and feel the difference in the body and the mind. Just taking a few moments. Now slowly open the eyes, and you can immediately feel this very, very soothing effect, right? By doing this Primary Pranayama. And now let's move on to our chairs. So do grab your chairs, and I'm going to be giving you a few very simple exercises to do. So I hope that we can do these all together. Now this is a yoga chair. So you can see it has an open back. These are actually really easily available online, and I really like them actually for a number of reasons. You can sit in them in all different directions, right? So any chair will do for today's session. Just make sure that it doesn't have wheels at the bottom. If you do yoga on a wheeled chair, then the chair will move around, right? So let's begin with something that I love. Just hold the back of the chair, right? So if your chair, most of us, you can just hold the back of the chair and just open up the chest. Okay, just open up the chest. You can even move a little bit forward, but just let the chest go down, head go down. If your back rest on the chair, then wonderful. Let the backrest support you and your neck, and just open up. Open up the chest. Let that rod at the chair push into the body. You can even take your hand to support the head. Inhale and exhale. Slowly come down. Let's raise the arms. Now over and above, and this is one of my favorite, and just slowly come down. We're going to stay here now for at least 2 minutes, okay? And you can even choose to bring a cushion, any cushion around the house, to bring it underneath your chest if this is more comfortable for you. Or just let go and place the palms down. Let the head completely hang loose. Like it's a ripe fruit, a ripe mango on a branch. Just let the head hang loose. And just stay here and breathe. Let all the blood flow to the head. Let any tension in the neck relax. And just let the neck completely lie back, lie down. You can even move the head side to side for a moment. Just rock it side to side. So you can feel that ease in the neck. Just let it hang. Inhale and exhale. Just stay here, focusing on your breath, taking deep breaths in, deep breaths out, making sure your head is like a ripe fruit just hanging here. You can even bring the arms up over here and just get an additional deep stretch in the shoulders. If you have that mobility of shoulders, then you can go ahead and do this. Inhale and exhale. Now slowly come down and just rest here for a moment. Giving your body and your mind enough time. And then slowly with control, coming all the way up and just take a moment. This is a mini exercise that you can do anytime. Anytime that you're feeling stressed, anxious, just get into this posture and it immediately begins to help you. I promise you. I do this all the time. And remember that your decision-making abilities are better when you're relaxed. When you're more tense, stressed, you're not going to make as good decisions about work, about anything, right? Now let's do a beautiful twist on the chair. Okay, remembering that twists are really important also for your immune system because the spleen is on the side. When we twist, we get a beautiful massage to the organs. So once again, raise the arms and just twist. You can grab one chair, one handle of the chair with one hand and the other with the other hand. And you can just position the back hand any way you want. But just remember, the knees will go like this, but push both the knees so they're in line with each other. So you can really keep both the hips on, both the buttocks are on the chair. Don't let the knees move in diagonal lines. Keep them straight and keep twisting. Pull the back of the chair so you can twist. This is a beautiful ease of tension for the cervical spine as well. It really helps relieve tension. So for everyone with neck problems, a big problem of our day and age, a lot of neck problems, this really helps. And let's come back to center. Once again, let's keep the arms and let's move and twist. Let's take a nice deep twist from the abdomen. Moving all the way into a deep twist. And really, really squeezing. Now let's come back. Let's ease the tension from the neck and the shoulders. And now we'll be doing a beautiful forward bend on the chair. So what happens when you sit on a chair is often the hamstrings get tight. And that's why a lot of back problems develop. But if we just remember just to do this stretch a few times a day, that a lot of lower back problems can be solved just like this. So bring the legs out in front of you, bring the arms up and just come down. And grab your toes and move down. And so just if you do this, then you're really going to ease the tension in your hamstring. So just begin grabbing. You can move to the edge of the chair so this becomes easier and easier for you. And just push the chair knees into the, push the knees down and stay here and breathe. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Just stay here for a moment. Don't rush in and out of these postures. That's the biggest mistake that we all make, that we do them just for a few seconds and then we complain that there's no benefits at all. We have to hold it. We have to feel the posture and then slowly come up all the way and come down. You can even now do this with a little bit of a wide leg, This also gives a nice effect on a slightly different part of the body. Use your hands to take balance, And if you're slipping off the chair, you can come back to the previous one, of course. But this also gives a nice effect. Keep pushing the ankle down, keep pushing your hands down. And then slowly, slowly come up. Let's bring the legs together. Place the hands on the knees and take a few breaths, just allowing all the tension to ease out of the body and the mind. So sometimes something as simple as just sitting on the chair and doing a few breaths is something so wonderful. Now I'm going to show you something. I'm going to sit on the, like this in a chair, but you can even do this if you have a desk in front of you. If you have a desk or a table. If I'm sitting like this, if I just keep my hands here, so imagine this was a desk and I just place my head down on my hands, this becomes a very nice posture. So if you have a desk in front of you and you're sitting on your chair and you just hold your elbows and you just bring the head down, This can be a very beautiful restive posture for you. Just breathing in and breathing out and just allowing the body to rest, the mind to rest for a moment. This situation of rest is a beautiful one. It immediately signals the body to move into a much better state. And come up, and another favorite one of mine, making a cup of your hands, just stay here and push the chin forward. It's the beautiful one for the neck. For any tension in the neck, keep your hands on a table in front of you and push, releasing the tension in the back of the neck. Just stay here and breathe. You can even place your forehead on your hands on your base of the palms on your eyes, relaxing your eyes, because often when we're sitting on our desk looking at computers and screens, we need our eyes to rest. So just place your elbows on a table in front of you. And now just relax, come back. And now we do a few standing up, because sometimes when we're sitting the whole day, we just want to get out of the chair, and that's a great thing to do too. Let's do one more. Now you can place the back of the chair. So say I'm standing behind my chair. All that I'm doing is I'm bringing my arms over and above my head, and I'm exhaling and I'm coming down, and I'm just staying here and I'm extending. I'm actually really stretching my whole back of my lumbar spine, my hamstrings. This is a beautiful release of tension. So use the back of the chair to just stretch. Breathing in and breathing out. So again, remembering to hold this posture. Don't rush into the posture. Don't rush out of the posture. At least hold it for a minute or so, as long as it's comfortable. You can slowly come up, and you can even just do a few seated dynamic postures. Especially work from home, none of your colleagues are watching you. You guys can do whatever you need to. And now let's turn the front of the chair around, and I'm going to give you one more posture. If you guys can manage it, amazing. So if you can, just once again, bring your head, if it's possible, onto the crown of the chair and just let the hands dangle. And if the head does not reach the chair, you can even put a pillow on top of the chair and let the arms dangle. You can bend the knees here too if that's more comfortable for you, or you can just straighten the knees, whichever one you like, but just stay here and breathe. And breathing in and breathing out. 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 Keep tightening the kneecaps. Push the kneecaps back. And now slowly with control, come up, and last standing posture, bring the hands, either a little bit above or down, and just begin to do a few dynamic stretches. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And now slowly come back. And we're going to sit back just for 2 minutes and close our eyes and do a short meditation before we come into questions and answers. You can just settle down after we've done these beautiful postures. The body is also very relaxed. So let's take a moment and just take back straight, spine straight. And just take a moment in silence, observing our breath. Something as simple as this is the most therapeutic. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Bring your hands to chest. Let's chant Om 3 times. Om. 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 Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed these simple exercises. And now I'll be taking questions. So please, looking forward to Anita, if you could just help as well with the questions, that'd be fantastic. I don't see any in the chat box.
Hey, Ira. Yeah, I have some questions for you. Before that, I would say this was amazing. What a wonderful, insightful session, Ira. I feel so fresh and rejuvenated. Your decision-making abilities are better when you're relaxed. I so agree with you, Ira, on this
Definitely.
podcast. And I have a huge takeaway for myself, and I'm sure the audience too with this. This should definitely become part of our day-to-day lives to keep stress away as well as have the right balance mentally and physically. Well, now let's take some questions one by one.
I'm just going to I'm dropping my email address and my Instagram handle and my website in the chat box. So in case we miss any questions, then feel free to email me or ping me. And if you just say that you're from um, IceWarp, then I'd be happy to help you guys in any which way if we're not able to complete all the questions.
Sure, sure, Ira. I have a couple of questions that are there in the personal chat. Why do people get muscle cramps in yoga?
Probably because they're not warmed up enough and they're moving too fast and too quickly. If you move at ease with your breath, then you won't be getting any muscle cramps.
Okay, okay. I think yeah, that could be the reason for the muscle cramps. Another question: does power yoga give more benefits than hatha yoga?
Power yoga is an extension of Hatha yoga. I would just like to tell you that it's an extension. So that means that Hatha yoga is the most traditional kind of yoga, and power yoga and all are modern spin-offs. So power yoga is just a faster, more dynamic form of Hatha yoga.
Okay, so there is no difference as such, primarily between both then.
I mean, there is because power yoga is much faster, but I mean, it's about what you're looking for in a class. If you're looking for something very, very active, power yoga may be better for you. If you're looking for something which is more traditional, which is more balancing, then a hatha yoga class would be better for you.
Yeah, so typically the Zumba lovers and the
Yes, exactly.
yeah, yeah, those guys go for power yoga typically because
Yes,
they
absolutely.
slowness in typically the hatha yoga gravity. That's what I
Yes, absolutely.
okay. And I think one last question: what would have been your profession if you were not in yoga?
Gosh, good question. I sometimes ask and wonder the same thing. I think for me, it is, um, gosh, I really wonder what it would have been. Um, I'm a writer. I think these days I'm very, very busy with a lot of yoga, but I feel that um, you know, I feel that if I wasn't doing so much yoga, I'd be probably writing more, writing more books. But I am running Yoga Love, so I do feel, which is an online yoga community and yoga studio. So I've kind of, which is the business. And so I do manage teams and I do manage people. So it is also something new for me because of the pandemic. We've had to really, do a lot, which we hadn't previously. So it's life is all about new learnings, and I appreciate all new challenges. So yes, I think going from writer, yogini, and now I think somewhere businesswoman is coming into the mix.
Yeah. Wow, that's wonderful. There are a few more questions which are coming up. Is there any issue in doing these asanas who have back pain or any sorts of body ailments? How hope it does not aggravate, and can these be done any time of the day?
Any time of the day. So today what I gave you was something very, very simple, very, very simple. So these do not cause any pain unless you have a major issue. In case if you have a major issue, then by now your doctor would have told you what's good for you and what's not good for you. But these are good for most people who have general problems, like a little bit of back pain, a little bit of sciatica, a little bit of ailments. These are great.
Okay, okay. Any advice about suffering from people who are suffering from lightheadedness, fatigue, and breathlessness upon a little exertion?
These are wonderful for you, Ashish ji. Do these practices. I know it's rough, but diet is really important as well. Eating a light vegetarian diet for you. What happens when we're tired, feeling low of energy, we end up eating a lot of junk. We try to look for carbohydrates and sugar to make us feel better. That's what happens a lot. So actually, I know a lot of people post-COVID, they gain a lot of weight because they're so low on energy all the time that they reach for sugary drinks. They reach for, a lot of carbohydrates, which gives them fast energy. So, in fact, a very dear friend of mine, post COVID, he became borderline diabetic because of all the kind of carbohydrates and sugar that he was intaking because of COVID, because of his COVID weakness. But try not to do that. Try to be good about your diet. Do light exercises that we learned today. These will really help.
Yeah, okay. And what is the best time to do yoga?
I really like doing yoga in the morning. I really like doing yoga in the morning because what happens is that when you do yoga, you get this beautiful balance in the body. Your body feels so the whole day. Sorry, just give me a moment. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, can. Yeah, yeah.
Great, great, great. Yes. When you have that beautiful ease in the body, you can carry it through the day. The same benefits happen in the evening, but then you only have a few hours to, take in the benefits. So I'm saying it's a better investment of your time if you do yoga in the morning because you can reap the benefits the whole day. So I actually see when I do yoga in the morning, then by 6 p.m., even till 6 p.m., my body feels that lovely lightness. If I do yoga and if I don't do yoga, then I feel a lot of tension in my body. So it's a beautiful balance, actually.
Another one from Ashish, I suffer from a lot of headaches, mostly migraines. Is there any way to ease it out and what to avoid and what to do?
Yeah, definitely breathing practices, Ashish ji. Definitely breathing practices will help you in the long run. It's not going to solve your problem immediately, but over time it will help.
Yeah, and he also says, I feel exhausted most of the times.
Yeah,
This
so
also helps
definitely begin with these
build better.
pranayam. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, please go on.
It's a good question from Riaz Khanji. Stomach empty, fine. I prefer empty stomach, but it depends what time that you're doing yoga. If you have a light breakfast and then do yoga, say an hour and a half after, you should be fine with a light breakfast. If you have a heavy breakfast, then you wait for 3 hours. So, but empty stomach is better, always better.
Are there any more questions, guys? Or we do this as a wrap up? Wait for another 30 seconds. I guess we're done. But what we can do is, as mentioned by Ira, we can take we can share questions with her, on her ID, and she can revert back to you guys. I think that should be good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you go onto our website, if you go onto IG, absolutely. Please type, please ask. I mean, sometimes in forums like this, we're a little shy, but if you drop in an email or a message or visit our website, then I'd definitely be happy to help you. But on that note, thank you so much, Anita ji. Thank you so much, everyone from the IceWarp team. I look forward to using IceWarp as well. We use G Suite. Maybe it's time to switch to IceWarp. And
Pleasure
look
is
forward to
ours.
seeing you all in the future
Pleasure is
sometime.
ours. I mean, I would like to thank you, Ira, and of course each one of you from the bottom of my heart for attending this session, taking out your busy time from your busy lives, and being here for a purpose. Stay tuned for many such interactive sessions from IceWork guys, and definitely I look forward to meeting you guys soon in person. Virtual is like just gone now. I hope we are able to meet in person soon. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Anita ji. Thank you. Bye.